Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Starting the conference, we are going to sing the national anthem of Indonesia, right? Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen, attentive audiences and fellow participants. Welcome to the third International Conference on Informatics, Engineering, Science and Technology, INCITEST 2020. Despite all the pandemics, I believe that the committee has somehow shown us their tireless effort in managing this online conference at today, 11 June 2020. First of all, we would like to address our highest admiration to respectable Professor Dr. Insinyur Haji Edi Suryanto Sugoto MT as the Rector of Komputer for his endless support to this conference, as well as to the Vice Rectors and Deans, and also the representative of Apticom, Professor Zainal Arifin Hasibuan, or the representatives. Thank you. And I would like also to say our highest appreciation to our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Kareem, Abdul Obaidi from Malaysia, and Professor Yuto from Japan, and last but not least, Dr. Irfan Dwiguna Sumitra from Indonesia. Last but not least, I would like also to say my appreciation to all fellow participants for your shared commitment in this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving to our next agenda. The speech from the conference chair will be delivered by Dr. Poni Sukaisi. The floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. To our national and international colleagues and distinguished guests, our fellow scholars and researchers, I'd like to welcome you in INCITEST 2020. Amid the worldwide spread of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 and the uncertainty surrounding the end of this pandemic, we have to hold the conference today in an online or virtual format with the spirit to exchange and share knowledge and insight in the third International Conference on Informatics, Engineering, Science, and Technology. I'd like to particularly extend a warm welcome to Rector of Unicom, Professor Dr. Insinyur Haji Edi Suryanto Sugoto MT, and all of top management of Unicom. Distinguished guests, our honorable keynote speakers, and all bright presenters and participants for joining INCITEST 2020. Also, I'd like to extend my appreciation to the organizing committee for their tremendous efforts in organizing the online conference. The theme of this conference will be humanize technology, the digital journey to win competition. We are grateful with the enthusiasm of the participants in the third INCITEST. This is shown with almost 450 papers has been proposed to the conference. 350 papers have passed the review process conducted by the experts in each field as our reviewers. We would like to convey our highest appreciation to all participants who sent their papers. Allow me to finally insist that today is your conference with great opportunity to ask questions to our speakers. Please seize this opportunity for exchanging views and, of course, networking. We expect that the conference will enable you to share your research with an international research community to engage in discussion about the issues relating to research and or practice in technological science and have a great conference. Thank you. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. And now moving on to our next agenda, we are going to have the opening speech from the Dean of Faculty of Engineering and Computer Science, as well as the conference official inauguration will be delivered by Dr. Insinyur Herman, SMBA. Dr. Herman, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to everyone, and thank you for joining us in this third INCITEST conference. On behalf of Rector Universitas Komputer Indonesia and the conference committee, it is indeed my pleasure to welcome you into this third INCITEST conference. As we know that the first and the second conference were participated by more than 200 and 250 presenters for each conference. And today, we go to listen more than 300 papers that are ready to be presented, so we're really happy about that. This third conference is special because we changed the face-to-face conference to an online conference. We are optimistic that through this INCITEST online conference, the main point of the research that will be presented by the keynote speakers and all participants could be well delivered. I truly hope through this conference we could discuss and share the result of the research that has been conducted. The research result that will be presented in this academic forum might help to improve our knowledge in informatics, engineering, science, and technology sector. With the development of knowledge and technology that come from an outstanding research result, which also satisfied scientific rules that can be justified, in the end, could give a big impact for an improvement in the quality of citizens' life. I want to express my gratitude to the Rector of Universitas Komputer Indonesia, Professor Dr. Edi Suryanto Sugoto, all Vice Rectors, all Deans, Conference Chair Dr. Poni Sukaisi Kurniati, keynote speakers Associate Professor Yuto Lim from Japan Institute of Science and Technology, Associate Professor Dr. Abdul Kareem Shafiq Mahdi Al-Obaidi from Taylor University, Malaysia, and Irfan Dwiguna Sumitra PhD from Unicom Indonesia. Thanks also to all conference committee members, session chairs, and all presenters and participants for your contribution, sharing ideas and research findings. Hopefully, wish you all a very good and meaningful conference. Thank you. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, that marks the beginning of the INCITEST. And now, for the smoothness of the conference, we are going to have a prayer recitation that will be conducted by Muhammad Arya Rajasa. The floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, let us pray according to our own belief, and let me guide you according to Islamic belief. A'udzu billahi minas syaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajmain. Ya Rabbana, lakal hamdu kama yambagi li jalali wajhikal karim wa azimi sultanik. Walakal hamdu bil Islam, walakal hamdu bil qiyam, walakal hamdu bil iman, walakal hamdu bil Qur'an, walakal hamdu bil khusyu', walakal hamdu bis sabr, walakal hamdu bit ta'ah, walakal hamdu kama yambagi li jalali wajhikal karim wa azimi sultanik. Oh Allah, all praise to you for all the blessing and guidance that you give us so that we can attend and carry out this international conference INCITEST 2020. Oh Allah, we ask you, please make this international seminar as a useful conference in order to add our scientific insight, in order to increase our brotherhood, in order to increase our enthusiasm in worship and work, and motivate our life to be consistent in the way of your truth. Oh Allah, please make this conference as an event that you approve, bringing your blessing and guidance for all of us. Please bless and fill this conference with kindness from the beginning to the end. Please give us help, strength, and ability so that we are able to carry out the duty and responsibility given to us. Oh Allah, your is all praise. You are the light of the heaven and the earth and all within them. Your is all praise. You are the true. Your promise is true. Your meeting is true. Your garden is true. And your hellfire is true. Your prophet are true. The hour is true. And the Muhammad is true. Oh Allah, to you we submit. In you we believe. On you we rely. To you we return. By you we dispatch. To you we turn for the judgment. So please forgive us what we have done in the past and will do in the future. You are our God. None is worthy of worship but you. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub alaina innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar wa qina azabannar wa qina azabannar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin ya Allah ya rabbal alamin. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, before moving on to the next agenda, I'm going to humbly request all the participants in this Zoom conference meeting, respectable Rector, Universitas Komputer, Vice Rectors, Deans, distinguished keynote speakers, and distinguished keynote speakers, as well as committee members. We are going to have a Zoom photo session. And please be kind to turn on your video because we are going to have the session. Okay. And I'm going to also ask my colleagues to back up for the print screen. So this is a gentle reminder that we have already had this kind of conference, this online conference in this pandemic era. So Professor Abdul Kareem, perhaps, would you like to, we are going to have the photo session, and Professor Zainal Hasibullah, Ibu Dwi Kartini, Professor Ailina, Professor Umi, perhaps, Professor Mama, Professor Yusuf, we are going to have this session. Okay. Thank you. We are still waiting for some our favorite pose, thumbs up pose. Okay. Now, okay, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. We're still waiting. Okay. Okay, we can. I think we can start now. Our pose. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Another pose, perhaps. Strong. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, respectable audience. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving on to our next agenda, the main agenda actually, the plenary session from our distinguished keynote speakers. This session will be chaired by my colleagues, Dr. Salmon Priyaji Martana. But before starting that, I'm going to read out some of his extensive profile. Currently, he is the head of the architecture engineering. He earned his master degree in 2000 from Bandung Institute of Technology and earned his doctoral degree in 2010 from the same school. His research interests is in enculturation architecture, and he is now actively participating in the development of churches in Bandung and the surrounding area. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I would like to hand you out the plenary session to our colleague, Dr. Salman Priyaji Martana. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tawami. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, all fellow colleagues from all around the world. And for the next 2 hours, we will enjoy the presentation from our remarkable 3 of our keynote speakers here. And we have Professor Abdul Kareem Mahdi Al-Obaidi, PhD of Malaysia. We also have Professor Yuto from Japan. And last but not least, we have Dr. Irfan Dwiguna Sumitra of our hometown, Bandung, Indonesia. And we will start first with Professor Abdul Kareem Mahdi Al-Obaidi. And I'm going to introduce his profile to you. Professor Al-Obaidi right now serves as Associate Professor at the School of Computer Science and Engineering, Faculty of Innovation and Technology, Taylor's University, Malaysia. And he is also the executive editors of the Journal of Engineering, Science and Technology, a Scopus Index journal. Dr. Abdul Kareem is a highly motivated and committed lecturer, and he holds more than 60 presentations and publication in a number of ICI and Scopus Index journal. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Professor Abdul Kareem Mahdi Al-Obaidi. And before we go with Professor Al-Obaidi, I must remind you that just in case during the presentation you have something in mind, suggestion or question, don't hesitate to write down to us through the link provided by the committee. And right after this, we will try to deliver it to the presenter after the session of presentation. So for now, we go with Professor Abdul Kareem Mahdi Al-Obaidi. Professor, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Martana and Mr.
Yeah,
Tawami.
the stage is yours, Professor.
Yes, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to this conference for the second time. I really feel honored to be part of the success of this conference. So let me now start to share my presentation slide with you. Can you enable me, please, to share? I am not able to. Okay, thank you. I hope you see my slides.
Yes.
Can you confirm you see my slides, please?
Crystal Professor, thank you.
Thank you very much for confirmation. Actually, the title of this presentation has been selected carefully to be related to the theme of this conference, which is talking about the new digital concept that is Society 5.0. What is its impact, the challenges, and the adoption by some countries, especially I will talk about Asia. So this is actually the outline of my presentation, where I give first introduction to Society 5 and what is the relation between Industry 4 and Society 5. Then I will talk about the positive and negative impacts of Society 5. Then we will have a look at Japan's plan and why they actually moved to Society 5. What are the challenges they want to address, and how to solve these challenges, especially the aging. Then we look at the impact of artificial intelligence in Asia, and at last I will end my presentation with some concluding remarks. So let's start first to get to know where we are heading in this digital world, specifically on Society 5, and ask the question, what is Society 5.0? Society 5 is simply human-centered. I just want to remove, okay. Is a human-centered society that actually balances economic advancement with the resolution of social problem by a system that highly integrates cyberspace and physical space. To simplify this, it actually further a smart society that creates a handshake agreement between the physical space and the virtual space, which is also known as the internet. This concept is originated in Japan, and it's known as the government ambitious societal transformation plan. They are trying to contribute to the UN sustainable goals to be achieved by 2030, goals such as no poverty, zero hunger, and specifically, I think the next phase of digitalized world will greatly improve healthcare systems and medical procedure. And you will see later the reason why Japan actually is aiming for this digital transformation as we move on further with this presentation. Now, here you can see a diagram which resembles a smart city. It explains, I'm sorry, it explains the interconnection and the information between the layers, which actually the help of three main technologies in Society 5. These technologies are IoT, big data, and artificial intelligence. As you can see in the last layer represent the use of Internet of Things, where it highly depends on the use of sensors and devices, such as smartphones and cameras. It communicates through the universal network layer. The second layer highly depends on big data analytics technology, where data is used, for example, to generate rapid responses in case of emergencies or enhance the transportation, which is described in the intelligence layer. Now let's look at the connection or the movement from society from Industry 4 to Society 5. So this slide shows the transformation from Industry 4 to Society 5, where it achieves a high degree of convergence between cyberspace, which is virtual space, and physical space, which is the real space. Currently, in Industry 4, cloud computing actually is mostly used. People access the store information in a cloud database in cyberspace via the internet. This processed by humans for various use, for example, GPS navigations or to operate robots. In the future, in Society 5, a huge amount of information will be collected from sensors in the physical space, and data will be analyzed by artificial intelligence. This is the most important. These results can be highly useful to create solutions for common problems we are facing, like automatic driving, to reduce the number of road accidents and thus reduce traffic. To do this, different types of information is needed. Example, for traffic, we have personal information like credit card can be collected, and this will help us to pay for tolls automatically. Therefore, here actually comes the privacy concern. However, the invention is not new, as we know, right? We have already heard about Tesla autopilot offered in 2014. Here, Internet of Things actually plays a big role as electronic signals are transmitted between multiple devices. Although there may exist some error, some cons. For example, more training, of course, is required to safely operate an autonomous vehicle. Also, the cost can be quite high. But this is not an issue, as we know. Today's generation is highly dependent on technologies to perform daily life activities, which means we can actually adapt easily. Right. Move on to talk about other invention. We will have it by 2025. Beside autonomous driving, according to World Economic Forum, many other inventions are expected to occur in less than 5 years from now. As you can see here, we have first robotic pharmacist in the US, 3D printed car, to name some. So this indicates that we are a step closer to a new and a fully digitalized society. Now, I'll talk about the positive impact of Society 5 by giving you an example. When people, okay, this is actually very concern, okay, very high concern, especially for people who are having currently job. When people actually hear robots, okay, they immediately think that we are going to lose our jobs. If robots replace us, then our services are no longer required. This is not always the case, by the way. Robots are not the cause of job reduction. In fact, we are living in a world that strive for innovation. So here actually is the most important part. It is about the innovation. Therefore, the main positive impact of moving into Society 5 would be the emerge of new leaders. This highly emphasizes on the strong need for entrepreneurs now more than ever. What are the entrepreneurs? Actually, entrepreneurs are people who take risk, invent, and start their own venture mainly to solve social problems. Therefore, actually here I would like to add that university really should encourage students to think more like entrepreneurs and to become more innovative, not only to have the basic knowledge, but this is really now required, especially when I mentioned that we are moving to a new era, which is Society 5. Technologists and entrepreneurs can contribute to Society 5 by taking role in four major industries area, such as healthcare, for example. They can invest in and develop cognitive artificial intelligence technologies that will greatly reduce the time needed to complete administrative tasks, which allows medical professionals to concentrate more on actually providing healthcare. Secondly, we have infrastructure, whereby the data can be leveraged to make accurate predictions that can improve the roads, such as data can be collected from automatic cars, as an example. Next area or industry is the mobility, which allows easy access to everyday needs for people living in rural areas, for example, through inventions such as automatic cars, drones for delivery, and many more. Lastly, in fintech industry, blockchain concept can leverage to make a cashless society to reduce frauds and enhance the security in the finance sector. And this is really very important. At the end, that is actually the message I want to say here, that data is nothing to users, right? Unless technologists and entrepreneurs give meaning to this data to address many social issues. Another positive impact here is creating a comfortable living, as robots can, for example, be caused to clean houses and dishes, which I believe could make us more productive and reduce tedious work to focus on more important tasks. Society 5 could promote healthy living as well by using smart technology to detect illness that are not easily seen by humans. And this is, as you know, we currently experience, right? We have the issues with the COVID-19, right? So actually here, smart devices play a very important role to detect the temperature, for example, deliver the medicine, which eventually reduce, of course, the risk of infection. And we are experienced with such situation in many countries. Furthermore, it actually could reduce social cost by monitoring food to reduce food waste. So overall, I would say Society 5 aims to starting a new humanism full of innovation. And this is actually the most important point I wanted to highlight. Now, let's see what challenges we will face moving into Society 5, the negative impact. But before we start listing these impact or negative impacts, let's recap on the incident Facebook had with their artificial intelligence technology back in 2017. Sorry, I believe many of you have already heard about this. You know, the story actually that had led by Tesla CEO Elon Musk to tweet that Mark's understanding of artificial intelligence was limited, and the media actually went crazy. So what happened is that the artificial intelligence bots created a new language without human input. Okay, nobody actually will have any input, just a new language. If you don't know what bots are, these are, for example, you can see here some automatic chats that you find in most business websites. Like, for example, if you want to shop, okay, so you can see something like this, you know, where you desperately looking for a real person online to ask about your purchase, but instead actually you get just automatic system replies. Anyway, this post suddenly stopped using English language and created a gibberish language for communication. Only artificial intelligence system could understand this language. Later on, actually, reports claim that that this was because of an error from programmers and therefore this led Facebook to shut down its artificial intelligence systems and put its research on hold. Okay, so this is just introduction actually to list the negative impact. The reason why I actually highlighted the Facebook experience in artificial technology is to emphasize on the main negative impact we will face if we want to actually enter Society 5. That is to address the question, how do we maintain the basic principle that human beings are always the main players, not artificial intelligence or ICT? That is the question actually to ask according to Otaki. Like I mentioned before, data is really nothing without human input. No matter how smart of an invention is produced, we humans are the main reason behind it, right? So this Society 5 doesn't actually reduce job. I actually go back to the question that, or concern by people that say that Society 5 actually will cause cause us to lose our job, right? So actually, Society 5 doesn't reduce job. However, employers need to upgrade their skills, starting off with basic technology skill. Otherwise, they actually will be left behind in the modern era of smart technology. Okay, now, as I mentioned, let me actually share with you Japan's plan, okay, and why actually they are focusing on this digital transformation. Basically, Japan's main goal is to increase the quality of human lives, where technology will be able to solve social problems with powerful techniques. Japan actually is focusing a huge, Japan is facing actually a huge increase in their aging population. Currently, 26.3% the population is over 65 years old. This is one of the main reasons that has led Japan to start working on a society transformation plan, and it is expected to be implemented by 2030. Other reason for it is natural disaster, okay, such as earthquake, okay, and lastly is pollution. These are the actually the main three reasons for moving for Japan actually to move to Society 5. So Society 5 actually will give priority to solve problems in these three main areas. Okay, these are productivity, mobility, and health. Example of application may include, for example, as you can see here, autonomous vehicles and drones for delivery services. We have online clothing customization. For example, doctor can actually make consultation from home via a special tablet. Cleaning services, all right, food, whereby refrigerator are monitoring the condition of stock foods to cut down on waste. Now, moving to the aging challenge, okay, and we ask, so is it important? Is aging population a challenge across the world, not only in Japan? Let's look at this fact. For example, by 2100, okay, as we have seen in the previous slides for Japan, it is actually 26.3%, okay, and this, by the way, expected to increase to 38.3% of Japan's population over those people actually over the age of 65. If we look at South Korea, actually we have 35.5%, and more than 30% is predicted across Europe. Right now, let's have a closer look at Asia, which is a very important part of my presentation, and specifically Malaysia and Indonesia. As you can see here from the chart, in Indonesia, the number of population aged 65 years old is expected to increase from 15.4 million to 27.4 million by 2030. Although actually in Malaysia it's drastically smaller, however, Malaysians should start to watch out for the aging population challenge, as actually, for example, Tan Sri Lee has mentioned, we must actually treat this issue as a public health, okay, rather than just a matter of I'm sorry. Okay, we must treat this issue as a public health problem rather than just a specialist matter. This is because there is a lack of professional to handle and provide care for elderlies. If we humans are too busy to take care of the elderlies, why not have robots to provide nursing services? And this is where artificial intelligence comes in place, right? So quick refresher, artificial intelligence is basically known as a futuristic agent, and it is actually the essential ingredient in Society 5. It basically means to induce some level of intelligence to allow computers to make sense of data. And we have examples here like pattern recognition, speech recognition, computer vision, machine learning, and so on. All right. So what is the impact in Asia? Artificial intelligence is actually so powerful if it is handled with care, and it has a huge potential in Asia to solve challenges related to hunger, sanitation, illiteracy, and global warming. The artificial intelligence market is moving forward for a huge increase. For example, in 2017 was 450 million and is expected to grow by 46.9% in 2022. With this projected growth of artificial intelligence, sectors like, for example, telecommunications, healthcare, education, business are expected to be actually the largest beneficiaries. Okay, now in Asia, already, let me ask this question and say, is Asia ready for artificial intelligence and Society 5? Let's actually look at this graph here. Okay, based on IDC survey conducted in the year 2018 for the adoption of artificial intelligence in enterprises, okay, it is concluded that Indonesia had the highest number of artificial development of 24.6, which means it is ready to face and adapt to Society 5. That's actually really good news. Although actually adoption remains low in Malaysia, however, it's actually showing signs of artificial intelligence development. Many of these countries in Asia, in fact, are aware of potential that artificial intelligence has. However, lack of infrastructure limits them from capitalizing on the benefits. In financial services such as digital banks, Singapore actually is the leading country in this area. While some countries' internet access and speed must be improved first before making a move to artificial intelligence. I have here one statistics as you can see here, average speed of the internet in some countries, such as in Laos, Brunei, Indonesia, and Vietnam, is quite low compared to Singapore. And this is really a very important concern we need to address if we want to move into Society 5. Overall, lack of skills and knowledge and the high cost of solution are actually among the biggest barriers to adoption of artificial intelligence in the region of Asia. Now, let's conclude my presentation. And I would say that data and technology could highly help in reducing crises such as natural disaster, and this will slowly prevent its recurrence. From COVID-19, actually, we learned many lessons. For example, we began to understand the essential need of technology in our lives in terms of education, work, shopping, and other terms. We just need, and this is actually the most important, we just need to have a proper skills, the right resources, and enough funds for countries in Asia to be ready to face the competition of Society 5. And of course, universities here actually play a very important role in getting or having these skills for our generation. Right. With this, I would like to thank you all for your listening attentively. And I also really want to especially thank my daughter, Daria, who is currently doing her master study at Taylor's University, for helping out to put this presentation together. So last word, as usually, always here, stay safe and healthy, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. It's been a half an hour of fruitful presentation. So one more interesting to me is about the driving, automatic driving. But I think I come back to you later, right?
Okay, all right, sure, yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving to the second presentation from our keynote speaker, Professor Yuto Lim of Japan, and I will introduce him to you. Professor Yuto Lim received the Bachelor of Engineering and Master of Information Technology degrees from University Malaysia Sarawak, Unimas, in 1998 and 2000 respectively, and he also received his PhD from the Kyoto University degree in Communication and Computer Engineering in 2005. And he also an expert researcher at the National Institute of Information and Communication Technology. Since October 2009, he has been working at Japan Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, JAIST, as an associate professor. He is honorably appointed as TTC representative to report the smart city activities in Asia Pacific region in both APT Standardization Program, Forum, ASTAP, and the IPT Telecommunication ICT Development Forum, ADF. His research interests are smart home, smart cities, cyber physical systems. Very interesting. Well, Professor Yuto Lim, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Chairperson Samal. So can you hear me well?
Loud and clear, Professor.
Okay, so let me share my screen now.
Okay.
Can you see my slide?
Crystal.
Yeah, thank you.
Carry on,
just for your information, maybe you can't hear my voice clearly because there is a heavy rain in Japan now at this time. So sorry if you can't hear very clearly. So let me introduce, thank you for introducing me. And first of all, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for inviting me for this conference. And it's my great pleasure to share my particular perception on the Society 5.0 and also my current research that is towards to this Society 5.0. So with this title called Dependable Smart Home for Society 5.0. So the slide is quite a lot. So maybe I will speed up a bit. So I think if you have a question, so I will let it come later. So please bear with me now. And okay, this is the outline of my talk. I will introduce 5.0 in Japan. So I also introduce the keyword called cyber physical system and smart home and what is the dependability. And I also want to introduce you our facilities in JAIST for smart home environment for iHouse and how this iHouse is function and by using Econet. And also what are the research activity that I conducted inside this iHouse. It's called cyber physical home system and cyber physical human-centric system. So I will make a conclusion like this. So let me share with you this information. I get it from Japan website. I think all of you can get it easily. So as you know that we have a society 5.0 and which is hunting and gathering. And then we have a shift to a society 2.0 that is dealing with the agriculture. And almost now already we passed 200 years ago. Already we have a society 3.0 for industrial that we are facing all the time. And so fortunate we have our currently society 4.0 information society, which is just 10 years old, which is very young. Today we have an eager to move to society 5.0 called a super smart society, which is encompassed with IoT, big data, AI, and robot. This is how eager of Japan want to create this society 5.0. So as you know that why we need society 5.0, due to the problem of society 4.0, the cross-sectional sharing of knowledge and information was not enough. They are due to many information are need to be cooperate, and that lead to the cooperation is very difficult. And in Japan, like Professor Abdul Kareem had mentioned, most of our problem is because of the aging population. Besides that, we also in Japan we have a decreasing birth rate, and also another problem is called local depopulation. So this problem actually lead to the difficulty of society 4.0. That's why Japan take a lead to move themselves to create this 5.0 society in order to share the better life in the society 5.0. By having this society 5.0, like for example, IoT can connect the people and things, and all sorts of information and knowledge are shared, and it can create a new variable market. So these are the things that it can be solved in IoT in the viewpoint. Like for example, in AI, the work can be done by analyzing the overflow information, then which can solve a better troublesome of analyzing those burdensome work in what we have collected. And by this, we can analyzing amount of information and can create a better knowledge of using this AI. Like for example, COVID-19, Japan have solved by using different way. Let me share with you later because I don't have the slide, but just verbal. I will share with you later on in the following slide. Okay, before that, I want to share with you what makes Japan possible. Japan have collected big data. The abundance of the real data are collected now, like in terms of health and medical data. So they have a lot of, they are all are connected and they are all in ones now. So the problem here now, how we use this data. So this is the one of the advantage of Japan. Another advantage is Japan, we call that Monozukuri. Japan like to build things from new innovation. So this Monozukuri means that manufacturing a new thing have been done for so long ago. So like after the World War II, it has been created all the time. And then with this help of big data and AI, we believe that the Japan can create a possible of 5.0. By doing this, we hope that Japan eagerly want to produce a society 5.0 model to the rest of the world to overcome the social problem, actually to have a productive age population, aging of local community and energy and environment issue, and like we mentioned, like the natural problem. So to have a better productivity and create a new value market. These are the things that I believe, and Japan people also believe that that make possible for Society 5.0. Let me show you another slide. How Japan solved the problem of healthcare. Before, we have a problem called aging society ahead of other countries. As you just received, the percentage is 26.3%. And currently, in fact, in 2020, we have the 28.4%. This percentage is the highest in the world. The second highest percentage aging people in the world is Italy. And Italy are facing a lot of problems in COVID-19. So you can see that there is a big number of people die because of this virus. And in Japan, we look things differently. And what I want to share with you here is Japan used the AI. And of course, the solution here is different. The solution here is we are expect that the Japan can share those information in between this medical data, including this medical check and all those reports, and remotely provide these medical care services to directly to the aging people. And using this AI robot also, like for example, nursing care facilities to extend the people healthy life expectancy. So these are the things that is going to be expected. But what I want to share with you recently, what Japan did to this to tackle the problem of COVID-19, and there is a group that has been formed in Japan to extract all the internet information, article, unpublished papers, journals, and this information are compiled by AI. Based on the AI information are obtained, they found out that the COVID-19 is incur a lot of syndrome problem, like headache, trouble in breathing, muscle ache, and smell and taste disturbance, and so on. These are the problems that is very difficult to find a good medicine to solve this problem. But Japan realized that this problem is not easy. So that's why they claim that it's very difficult to find a medicine. For example, the medicine for influenza, we have a influenza, but corona is impossible. To tackle this problem, they look into another problem caused by the coronavirus is the blood vessel. So blood vessel is the big issue of causing this body that cause us a lot of problem in our body. So this actually is analyzed, and then they are looking for a best medicine to tackle this coronavirus with a different way of solving it. So I believe the way they're doing this AI analysis is giving a very great impact to our global society impact. So beside that, current issue that we did in Japan, maybe I want to share with you, is the factor X. So Japan have analyzed all the information. In Asia, sound that we have a very less number of death because of the factor X. So these are the things that it will be very interesting to see how Japan tackle this corona problem in the world. So beside that, I want to share with you also the how Japan solved the Society 5.0 in terms of mobility. As you know that there are many small roads in Japan that cannot be reached at the home. So by introducing like drone, okay, by using drone, it will be reached to the home to home. So, or we call that door-to-door services. So these are the things that is also expected as a great solution for Society 5.0, for especially to tackle the problem of aging population. So let me move to the next slide. Towards the Society 5.0, I have shared with you from Society 1.0, and Society 3.0 actually is around 1970-80. So we already encounter many revolution in terms of global and local, and reach to the information revolution, which is the power revolution and digital revolutions. So that actually takes us almost 230 years. So today, we're going to have a Society 5.0, which will be called as a super smart society. It would be, maybe, we will include IoT, CPS. Like I wrote here is also like quantum computing could be a possible thing in the Society 5.0. What do you think? It could be 20 years from now on, or I'm not sure. So this will be another issue. Before I talk to you about CPS, let me share with you this slide, the terminology of IoT and CPS. IoT, in fact, is not new. It's proposed by the Kelvin Alston in 1999. So, and Helen Gill from US, and she's proposing the word called CPS, called Cyber Physical System, and it actually is defined at that time. It's called Physical Biological Engineering System, whose operations are integrated, monitored, and or controlled by the computation core. So these are the definition, full definition proposed by her in 2006. And after that, Ellen Lee have redefined it to be more simple term and called CPS is a system featuring with the time combination of and coordination between the system computational and the physical elements. So this is very hard to understand. And on the same year, the same colleague, Shankar Santri, defined is more complicated of a CPS definition by talking about this thing is not so easy. It could last from miniature to the large scale. It's not just that, it's also incurred to the problem of dependability, safety, and security efficiently in the real time. So cyber physical system actually can be picturized. You have a physical space, we call it real space, and we have a cyber space. Okay, they are interacting with each other, like as shown in these figures. Okay, let me go through what's the difference between the IoT and CPS. IoT actually is larger scale than the CPS. You can picture in terms of this transportation viewpoint, and IoT is equal to the data and services like smart transportation, whereas CPS is considered is an intelligent network junction in here. So this is what you can understand the difference between the IoT and CPS. And I want to show you also in the critical specific application in between the IoT and CPS. So basically, you have two words here. Application of the CPS actually is time critical and massive critical and mission critical. So it's basically this is a remote surgeon, like vehicle traffic control, industrial automations, so power grid distribution. Those can be the CPS application. So whereas the application for IoT, it could be the medical monitoring and agriculture monitoring, or product tracking, or inventory management. So which is more focused on the method critical. And of course, both of them is very important. Is privacy and security and safety critical is also considered. So of course, CPS have a higher security than the IoT. And here I want to show you there's what is the most popular IoT application. As you can see in this graph. Okay, and we have shown here IoT have been reworked from Web 1.0 to 3.0, talking about connecting to everything. So that is the term is come out. And then the most popular IoT application is a smart home. You can see here. And then what is smart home here? Smart home is firstly used in America in 1984, and it's defined as a home-like environment that hosts ambient intelligence and automatic control, in which it responds to the behavior of residents and with various facilities. And this definition is very close to the definition of Society 5.0, which is human-centric. So you can see that smart home is actually want to define in the way that people can have better convenience, better security, better way of living for a different level of people inside the home. And what are the smart home challenges available these days? So I just did this data and found out that mostly have been focused in until 2025. Energy and heating and ventilation and air conditioner is the two main thing that is a great challenge for the smart home area. So you can see that energy is 21.5%, whereas is HVAC is 14.41%. So in my research, I try to focus on this energy and HVAC. So I want to show you also this slide, dependability challenge in the smart home. There are many things that are connected in the smart home, like we have a home gateway, we have sensors and actuator, and we have all those level of home appliance, and they are come into the home. So those connectivity among those components, or I call that things that I mentioned, are not 100%. So also, sometimes like for example, sensor are battery, and they are run of battery, so no energy, is lead to this problem. And beside that, it could lead to some service failure because of the sensor is not work. And basically, it's very difficult to guarantee 100% availability and reliability inside the home as well. So what is dependability actually? Dependability is defined by many aspects in terms of availability, reliability, and maintainability, safety, and integrity, and so on. So in availability, so it's ability of the system to deliver adjustable transfer services, like it's mentioned here. Okay, so here is the topic of the discussion: how we create this dependable smart home. So before that, dependable CPS application should be explained here. In CPS, dependability can be classified into two interdependent levels in terms of the component itself, the thing itself, sensor and the network, and also the information itself. So it had to be dependable. So through this, in order to solve one of these way of providing the dependency CPS application, especially for smart home. So we need the reflective approach to explore this, observe and analyze, adapt. We call that a closed loop control in order to lead to this dependable CPS application. So in here, our research here, we want to reviewing the personal thermal comfort in the smart home. Let me share with you later on in the slide. Before that, let me share this slide with you. We have in Japan, we do have the very 100 years ago, we have a house called Tate Ana Siki. This house is heritage now. And then currently we have the ordinary house. And my house is called Zero Energy House. This is my house. And then in future, maybe we have a 3D printed house. So in terms of dependability of this home, I think it's going to be very high. The question has come to here. How about the neighboring sharing and caring? And how about the price? It will be very expensive. So there will be a trade-off in terms of this. If we want to have a dependable smart home, we lose those neighboring home, and we lose we have to pay more. These are the things that, and also the most thing that we lose here is the caring. This is what I see in Japan now. Even though we have a house, I don't talk to my neighbor so oftenly, like the old time in Malaysia. So we used to like chit-chatting, we play around each other. this kind of culture is never exist. So are we really need this dependable smart home? So this will be the question for you to be answered. So I just pop a question to you. Let you think. So after this, I want to share with you what are the smart home environment in Japan at this moment we have. And we call it as an iHouse. I stands for Discover, Interneted, Inspiring, and Intelligent. And it's an advanced experimental environment for future smart home in Japan. And it's only one in Japan. We cannot find anyone else. And furthermore, this smart iHouse is used for European project as well. So we are very proud that this thing is with us. And this iHouse is actually connected by Ethernet Lite version 1.1. And inside this house there are 300 sensors and actuators. Let me show you the detail of the iHouse. The layout of iHouse have 2 floors. You have a living room and dining room in the first floor, and most of the second floor are your bedroom. You have 2 bedrooms and 1 master room. This architecture is formalized based on 4 in one family, one father and mothers and 2 children. That's why you have 2 bedrooms for A and B. And there's a server room here. It could be the possible of a father study room. It's just an example. Okay, and then the location of iHouse is right to the north, facing right to the north. And then we have a solar panel that is generated 2 kilowatt with the size of 40 meters square. It's located in the Ishikawa, sorry, let me come back. It's located in this is JAIST. It's just down here, okay? It's just down here. So it's very near, 3-minute walk from here. And then this is how it looked like in the solar panel. And we have a full cell capacity, and then we also have a vehicle have been built. This photo is a bit old. So this is how the adapter inside the iHouse. We have a normal outlet and experiment outlet. And these are the sensors, indoor sensors. We have a motion sensors. We have a sensor that indicating this door is open and closed. We have a temperature and brightness sensors. And we also have the sensor that can measure the amount of rain, the direction of wind. So basically, we know what is the weather today inside in this particular locations. So we have the we have the actuator that move the curtain automatically open and close. Okay, and then we can turn on the air conditioner and turn on and turn off. And beside that, we also can turn on and turn off the lights. So these are the things that are available in iHouse. So what is Econet actually here? I want to share with you with this opportunity. Econet stands for Energy Conversion and Home Care Network. It's a standard. So it's formalized by the 6 members. Basically, it's the telco is the main leader, and the rest of the 5 manufacturing companies, famous like Toshiba, Panasonic. And the goal actually want to build the home network that is specifically enable energy, security, and medical care. And in 2009, Econet have become a de jure standard actually rectified by IEC and ISO. And basically, Econet is just a standard specification in terms of for communication. And you can, it's like KNX or like ZigBee, but they are basically for work for different areas. And you can see the Econet have changed to become Econet Lite because Econet itself is very bulky. And now Econet have changed to Econet Lite in 2011. So now it's have been released and basically have been widely used in Japan. Okay. So in 2018, so Econet ready device have reached to the total of 76.58 million units in Japan. So this is considered very large amount. So people are very get close to the Econet specification already. So Econet actually is have a basic model here. So for non-Ethernet system, they can connect to the home gateway, and through the controller, it can communicate with those devices or objects inside the home by using Econet. So it's defined like this. So Econet actually, Econet is belonging to the communication middleware. It defines those devices object and the profile object. So basically, if I explain Econet basic model like this, you don't seem like understand. Just think about how you understand Econet. How you turn on your air conditioner? You by using remote control, right? So your remote control, if you turn on and turn off, this is a Econet for me. Econet is just like a remote control. You can turn on and turn off anything. Let's say you have a remote control, can turn on not just the air conditioner, can turn on one remote control, can turn on the television, can turn on the the washing machine, you can turn on the light. So this is called Econet. Okay, basically this is how you understand Econet. So I might ask my time, how long I still have? Sorry. So maybe I can try to match the time. Sorry, I can't hear you. It's okay. So please stop me. I think I will spend more time on this. Basically, the Econet become very simple now. It's written in here. It's only one format type already. And this format type, you can view 12 type of format. So this have been simplified in how to use this Econet line.
You have 5 more minutes remaining, Professor. Thank you.
I have 5 more minutes, huh?
Okay.
I see. So
it's okay. Take your time.
Okay. I think I'm more interested to share my research. So let me go to the next slide. Cyber physical home system. This is created by me. It's offering the resident to live more cost-effective and comfortable, convenient, and secure using cyber physical system. And basically, we send the information from the house, and then we control it, and then we actuating the air conditioner to do what it have to do. For example, this is a block diagram of a cyber physical home system, and we have the physical world and the cyber world. And inside this physical world, we have a sensor domain and actuator domain. And we produce this system called EETCC. It stands for Energy Efficient Thermal Comfort. And actually, to reduce the energy consumption, also certify the thermal comfort level of the resident in timely manner, using the air conditioner, window, and curtain. So basically, the ETCC concept is try to not use air conditioner all the time. If the thing whether outside is comfortable, we will use the outside by open the window. So I think this system is very grateful to be used in Asia, South Asia, and the system model for ETCC is based on the control system. You have a controller to control the plan and with the desired value. So in order to achieve this output value. So these are the things, the system model. And I want to share with you our research activity. The first cyber physical home system is built in 2011. So we have produced the ETCC in 2013. So we have a wide range of students and PhD students who have did this research from various countries. Now we come out with a new ETCC personal thermal comfort. So let me show you this personal thermal comfort. Our concept of cyber physical home centric framework actually here is use CCPS centralized with human here. And you see the human need a lot of background, preference. There are many things are related to human. So in order to construct this, we build this framework. So besides having the cyber physical system, 3 components, 3 modules, computation, control, and communication, we build this human factor module on top of it, and we call this cyber physical human centric framework. So by this, we can interacting to human directly. Okay, and this is the implementation that we have done in JAIST. So basically, we build this human factor model based on the AI, ANN, and by getting directly from the human information physiology parameter, like wearing the Apple Watch can measure the heart beat rate, and then based on this additional information, and it will put into this AI, and then we will calculate another new way of control this comfort level. We call it PPNB. So to do this, we can control the iHouse more properly. We have some data here. I want to show you. They are, of course, we are dealing with the AI, so we need some training. So we do some data correction before we conduct our implementations. So these are the things. I maybe share very close quickly. So this I want to share with you the result here. The thermal comfort sensation have been testified in the experiment. The ETCC itself is just mainly focusing on saving the energy, but when you have a personal thermal comfort, this triangle, they are more in this we call it neutral zone, comfort zone. So by this, basically the comfort zone is increasing. In here, there's the green color. So basically, the ETC improved 25.9%. So beside that, ETCC over PTC is also increased 30.5% in terms of energy consumption. I basically want to show you very briefly this one, and I have my last slide here. Sorry, I'm rushing. And first, I have shown you my approach of using CPS for the smart home. And also, I show you also my recent research about cyber-physical human-centric framework. So I really hope that I can have a collaboration work with you in future, especially partner who can work with me in the CPS, IoT, smart grid, and future wireless, actually to realize together for Society 5.0. I in the position that is very good, and I think my knowledge and my place that here is a potential to have a great collaboration with you all. Thank you. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Professor Yuto. I think that was a lovely presentation, and it's very, very interesting. You know, when plans of smart homes comes together, then it will be very, very different for the architects and architectural way. Then I think I go back to you later with that. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we are moving to the presentation of Dr. Irfan Dwiguna Sumitra from Bandung. And Dr. Sumitra will start the presentation with a question. Could the pandemic change us? I will introduce Dr. Sumitra for you. He is the head of Department of Information Management, Faculty of Engineering and Computer Science, Universitas Komputer Indonesia, Bandung. And he's also a lecturer at the postgraduate of Information System in the same university. He received his PhD in Nanjing University of Information Science and Technology, China, in 2017, with the concentrate on wireless sensor network enterprise architecture, as well as IoT for society. And he also worked as an IT consultant for assessment and framework analysis of information systems in the enterprise with his team collaboration. So Dr. Irfan Dwiguna Sumitra, the stage is yours. Please, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Martana. This is the warm welcome to you. Okay, good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to say my condolence for all victims of COVID-19, and also I want to say thank you for all heroes especially for the task force of accelerating handling of COVID-19, and as well as the doctor and also the nurse who are fighting against this pandemic. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. This is my subject of my speech. Probably some of the material is almost same with the other presentation. I don't know this is the good for me, make me easy or the even worse, I don't know. But I will try to present in my perspective. The topic still talk about the society 5.0, and I would like to seek the implication of the pandemic on the new kind of the society. And of course, I want to see that is the impact, give our chance to perspective using the technology to win a competition. Okay, let's move to the first slide. This is the man behind the idea of the society 5.0. This is the Prime Minister of Japan. Mr. Shinzo Abe said that the core of the society is to obtain the proper solution for the citizen with the complex social issue. He announced this in the 2016 as a part of the 5 Science and the Technology Basic Plan, and his idea is to make a fusion between the people and the thing, between maybe Professor Abdul Kareem and Professor Yuto said cyber and also the physical space to leveraging the ICT. He also encouraged the Japanese governmental agency, university, as well as the industry to actively collaborating in development and implementation of the society. And this is the aim of the society. So I will minimize this. The cyber physical social system of the society 5.0 will be able to respond precisely to wide variety social need and to create a society in which kind of the people can obtain high quality service. And how do the people get the high quality service? We have to provide the comfortable life and also the healthy life. So like the elder people, women, and also kids, they can reach their lifestyle. I think this is the aim of the society. And move on. This is as we can see, this is the bigger main explanation why the society 5.0 is so crucial in Japan. This is the projection in potential letter between the Indonesia and Japan, according to the growth of the population. And they are also have any reason, correct me if I'm wrong, Professor Yuto, due to the Japan face many social challenges and need to overcome this as fast as possible. Some problems such as declining birth rate, coupled with an increasing population and shrinking the labor force. Also, the aging infrastructure is mean some infrastructure is quite old, such as a bridge, road, and also the water pipelines. All those infrastructure is established over the 50 years ago. Another issue is the increased social security costs that will increase due to the aging population. Japan has the high rate of the aging in the world. By 2030, almost 40% of population will be aged 64 or older. The Japan people said this is the ultra aging population, a society where the elder people account over the third of the population. In Japan also, many people of working age will leave the labor force to care their older parents. And this is the societal issue that Japan face are a common issue for many countries in the world, including Indonesia. You can see in the you can see in the 2030, Japan has the old people, and at the same time in Indonesia we have the younger people. We have the many teenagers as the golden age, and unfortunately nowadays we face the faster technology disruption. So I think this is also the problem for us right now. I would like you to look at this figure. I think this is the digitalization of industrial and social infrastructure is accelerating through the entire world, and digital transformation become a pillar of the industrial policy. As we can see, in North America, they propose the industrial Internet of Things. They want to implement this concept to their manufacturing so they can deliver the product as fast as possible. Meanwhile, in the Europe, they propose the Industrial 4.0. This initiative from the German in 2011. They want also to use this to digitalize and promote the manufacturing. And in China, they propose the Made in China 2025. This is the China modernized industrial capability. They want to focus heavily on intelligent manufacture in the 10 strategy. And as you know, we have also job where the nature created by the Almighty God and the rest of things come from China because everything is made in China. And Japan proposed the Society 4.0, and our Asia Smart City, they are still focused how to solve the problem in our citizen with how to make society more happy, more life, and also more comfort. And below here, so the something that they are ready to produce according to the concept in here, such as IoT, AI, robotic, big data, and so on. And this is maybe the same with the others. This is the road to the society, how we can change from the society from 0.0 to the society from 5.0. The society have the own term belong there, such as the society 1.0 is the hunter-gatherer, and society 2.0 is about the agrarian, and society 3.0 about the industrial, society 4.0 about the information, then society 5.0 this is talk about the super smart society. So what the meaning of the super smart society? This is not about the how to transform the human become the robot. This is not about that, but it means that the digitalization is not talk about how to produce new value of the industry, but also affect to the all thing in the human life. So the material every society is also different, right? The produce of the material is different. The transport they use to deliver is also different, and the form of the settlement, because in the first society they settle in the one place. They didn't. They only focus how to get the food. They didn't think anything. They only survive the life. So, but in the agrarian, they try to grow some rice field, some the product from the land, and the industrial, they focus how to make the industry. So some people in this society, they move on to this society because they want to make the life is better. And then in the society 5.0, they will want to connect it between the one city and another city. And the focus of the society is being the autonomous decentralized city, so they can connect it between other and they can live together, and hopefully it's not conflict each other. This is the differences between the industry 4.0 and the society 5.0. The focus of industry is how to invention of the computer and how to start of information distribution. Meanwhile, in the society 5.0, it is focused on how to use the IoT and also the AI, and then they get the advent of the biotechnology also as focus. And the time is second half of the 20th century, and this time is coming out now. And the goal is how to efficient use the natural resources, such as the oils, such as electricity and others. And this focus how to use the new resource, such as data, because as you know, data is everything. We have the new resources belong the natural resources, and also the end of the industry 4.0 is how to seeking the solution to individual problem and how to make the individual industry more efficient. It means that the focus to the industry 4.0, how to make a new value of the product and how to make it more efficiency. But in here is very complicated in society 5.0, very complicated social issue, because this is not about the machine, this is about the human being and how to make them live together, because we have also the own social problem, right? And then this is I want to talk about the timeline of the technology, because as we know, we have the fastest technology nowadays, and from the beginning, the telephone need to 75 years to get the 5 million users in the world. You can imagine to one technology, such a telephone need 75 years to spread around the world. And if you can the timeline, this timeline is the more decline the time according the applications. All of those belong the hardware, and all of those belong the application. So maybe as you can see, for Pokemon Go, they need 50 million users to spread out in the world. But I think in this one, as you know, we now face the cloud meeting, right? We have the Zoom, and I still waiting how many days for Zoom to spread out and obtain 15 million users. I think this will be surprising, because everyone right now still use this application. Maybe not only Zoom, maybe another meeting application, such as the Google and also Microsoft. And this is the third element that involved when we use between the conventional knowledge and also knowledge to process in the society 5.0. As you can see in the traditional knowledge, they still need the human to do everything, because after the phenomena happen, social interaction also happen, they will generate the data into the cyberspace, and the data need the human to obtain or to resort the information, because they will transform it, they will process it, they will analyze it. After that, after information, the useful data can get the human also need to transform it to being knowledge. So after that, they will return back to the city or to the environment. In the meantime, if we can see in the society 5.0, this society is driven without the interference of the human. Everything belongs to the AI. After the data gathering in the cyberspace, the AI will analyze, will processing, and will get the best model to bring the information. After that, they will also acknowledge, and then they will send this result to the environment. And I think this is the better. If you ask me what the better between the industrial 4.0 or the society 5.0 according to this data, this is not, no one is better. I think we have to use both of them together, because as I mentioned before, industrial focus in the manufacturing sector, and society 5.0 focus in the society with his own conflict. And this happened, the technology happened during the pandemic. As you can see, the online shopping, and then the contactless digital payment, remote work, remote learning, a healthy online entertainment, supply chain 4.0, 3D printing, robotic and drone, and also the high speed. All those technology is support how we can survive during the pandemic. As you know, the pandemic transformed us to use technology like the shopping online. We use many of the application of the e-commerce, right? Such as Shopee Mobile in Indonesia and Tokopedia and others. And we buy everything through this e-commerce. And then in the contactless digital payment, we also, the pandemic also pushing it in. I mean, this is not the new technology. Technology already existing before, but we gain to use it more and more comfortable. I think this contactless digital payment, we are ready to use it. We pay some on our purchases brand using digital, and also we use the remote works to working and the other place. And we also use the remote learning to study from our home. And we also use the healthy care to consult with the other doctor in other place. And we use also the online entertainment to entertain us. How do we do stay at home? Such the application give the free for the people to use it. Like the some of the game company, they give the free game for the people to playing the games during the pandemic. And then this is the supply chain 4.0. The two of the ban of the some company, they cannot deliver as well as the previous. They use the supply chain to deliver it, and they change how to deliver from the product, the raw material to the customer. And then also we have the 3D printing during the pandemic, because this thing used to design the mask paste. Some of the researchers use it to with it, and that the robotic and drones used to deliver some product from one place to another place. And the high speed, is it not all the technology will be useless if not supported by the high speed internet. And hopefully in the next year we can use the 5th generation, so the speed will be increasing. And this is the adoption of the digital service over the pandemic in Indonesia. As you can see, some of applications are ready to increase. You can see this figure. This is the, I can, more than, please wait, I can show the number. Please wait. I have the, okay, on for this online shopping, the number of almost 73 increase the adoption, and then when the contactless digital payment, the number will almost the 65 or to 63% increase the adopting. And for the healthy care and the remote learning, we will also increase during about the 44 and 38%. But in the contrast, will those technology, the transportation is not used application during the pandemic because they have the large scale restriction, social restriction they are implemented by our government. So we cannot bring the passenger in this time, but some application they allow to deliver the some goods and also the some good and also the some food to the technology. And this is the technology what happened in our country. The some of the agency, governments, and also the academician, they work together to produce this technology. As you know, we need some antivirus to solve the pandemic. So they produce this antivirus. And then they also get the biosafety level 2 to deliver or to moving around the area. And then this is the RISA, the robotic how to assist the medicine, and produced by the INCITEST and also the UNER. And this is the port air purifying respirator created by the Universitas Indonesia to help the people get the fresh air. And this is the fan eye, the ventilator eye they produce to between the UNPAD and also the ITB. They will have the people in the hospital, such as the doctor and also nurse, and also its facility. And to support the standardization of and to gain the and to make sure the quality of the service on the standard of the society, our government, especially the Indonesian national government, they propose 202.3 in that for support the industry 4.0, and then this include our big data, our IoT, security, logistic application, infrastructure, and also the artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, to support the society 5.0, they propose the 504, the Indonesian national standard. This is to keep our citizen, our data, and our machine, and they can work as harmony. And this is the list of the Indonesian national standard related with the Society 5.0. As you can see, some of the standard is cover about the data quality, health information, and information documentation, and also the information technology. And this is already I mentioned before that they will keep the people the secure also to use this technology, and they can ensure that the technology is safely and also they can make it comfortable. This is the policy response to digital pandemic. According to UN, they have some timeline how to respond this pandemic from the short term to the long term, according how we can react and how we reinvent the solution to solve it, and what the kind of the digital response we can participate to against the pandemic. If we can see in the short term, we have to react, and we can use the digital platform such as the online portal or the social media to spread the information sharing just in time. And then we have also doing the lead-to-way communication with the people when the other participate and other organization, how we can deliver the information in the scientific forum, such as we can do the hackathon or we can do the brainstorming event. And I think this is also the good way for us to react about in the level the scientific seminar international, to get the another perspective in our expertise. And the last, how can we react in the short term, is to protect the people privacy and also the sensitive data, so we can take into the consideration and intended consequence of the technology. As we can know, in the first time when the pandemic happened in our country, our government mentioned the first patient to the public, so it make the public is chaos, because they ensure that pandemic is not attack our country, but it is really opposite, because the government don't know how to inform this crisis to the people. So they think they mention the people and they say the name of the people to public, they will get the good positive impact. But actually, it is the wrong to serve or to spread the information. We have to protect the privacy of our patient. We cannot tell the people about the sensitive information. In the meantime, we have to take the action of the policy with the result. It is we have to participate and join with others, such as the private sector and also the organizational international, like the WHO and also our agency, the government agency and some university among the region, national, and also the local level. We have to collaborate with others to get the best model, the best practice, how to we resolve this pandemic as soon as possible. So, as we can see in the recent days, our government changed this policy from the large scale social restriction to the local scale social restriction. So they get this way from some expert, and this is also they also waiting the international organization to get the best way. And then in the midterm also how to resolve is to make we have to listen and also to learn about the policy from the ongoing pandemic. We have to take care and we have to get the experience so we can move on to the next our life. Because as I see, this is the first pandemic happened in the world. The previously we also happened the Spanish flu, but in this time, fortunately, we have using the technology to again the pandemic. So we have to push and we have to get the policy to recover all the pandemic will be happen in the future, because maybe in my mind in the next time we will also face the pandemic. So if we have the experience using technology to maximize and to finish the pandemic in the next time, we are ready to if the pandemic another pandemic happen.
Dr. Sumitra, as the timekeeper, I must remind you that your time is almost up. Thank you.
Quiet minute. Can I get
sure.
Because I think this will be the end of my presentation.
Okay, no problem then.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Salmon. In the long time, we have to reinvent and also to invest the technology to use the AI, the IoT, the robot drone, the big data, and so on. So we can increase the resilience of the healthy care. We can, because as the Professor Yuto said, and also the Professor Abdul Kareem said, the main purpose of the Society 5.0 just how to make the awareness of the people to care about the healthy, and also it's also impact to the national economic and to the public service delivery. And the last, we have to revisit data protection and privacy legislation along with this lesson learned. This means if we have to make the rule, we have to make the some knowledge, the new knowledge, how to we can protect and how to we can make a pattern about some products. So we need to care about that. In the last slide, this is the one of the biggest inventor in the 21st century, Steve Jobs. He said that the people who crazy enough to think they can change the world are the one who do. And I think the question is, could the pandemic change us in the future to use the technology? And everyone tell us everything is changing and will change everything that we think, we do, we believe, we expect. And our daily life is also already changed. Our working style also changed. So we have to start to use technology for the human being, and how the world will look like after the pandemic. We must unite together to fight and not underestimate the virus. And if we want to win the rise of the against the pandemic, at least we have to four factor in the society 5.0. The first is the adaptability of the technology. Second is the agility of the technology. The third, we have to use the mobility of the technology. And the last, we have to doing the reactivity of the technology. I think this fourth factor will serve us to pass this pandemic, and we can get our not new normal life, because for myself I not agree with this term. We will continue our life like the previous. So I ask together to unite again, and we will return back our life together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sumitra. It's very interesting. I think we have changed.
Yeah.
Because, the society, the culture, which is not changed anymore, it's a diet culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to adapt. Thank you.
Well, let's discuss about it now. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving now to the discussion session, and the committee and you have provided us with several good questions. I will start with the question number one. This is from Petrus Sokibi. Mr. Sokibi is from Universitas Catur Insan Cendekia, Cirebon. Perhaps, perhaps this is not related directly to the materials being presented, but it's also interesting. The question is how to improve the ability to write international journal, because so far it's been very difficult to publish research results to international journals indexed as Scopus. I believe this is perhaps some issue of submitting good papers. So although this question is directed to three of our keynote speakers, but I think we will start with Dr. Abdul Kareem Al-Obaidi as the chief editor of the JAIST journal. Okay, doctor, what's your answer?
All right. Actually, this is a very common question. Okay. And also there is no one answer for it or final answer for it. It all depends on many conditions, such as, for example, the quality of the paper I prepare, the standard of the journal I actually send my paper to. This is also very important. Therefore, actually, I advise the person actually who asked, or the participant here, that if you plan to publish a paper in a Scopus or ISI journal, okay, first and most important thing is to make sure that you have good quality paper, and you have novel research, and you have actually some data which you think that will be of interest of the readers. Number one. Number two, actually, is very important to know at what level is my paper. For example, if I know that the level of my paper is not very high, I think it's not good that you send your paper to very high impact factor journal. Definitely it will be rejected. Okay. Number three is to make sure that I send my paper to the journal actually which deals with my topic of the paper. So these, I believe, the three important factors. If I put it in my mind, okay, I think I will reduce the possibility of rejection.
Thank you, doctor. So it's a positioning issue, knowing the quality, where to submit and how to submit. Okay,
yes.
But perhaps in this pandemic era, it's rather difficult to find proper information to back up the paper. So perhaps Maybe Professor Yuto Lim want to add something? Please, Professor, the first question.
Yes. Regarding the question, so I myself, I just tell the way that I wrote a good paper, a quality paper. Before that, I wrote a paper. I think I read a lot of paper. For my PhD level, I read more than 2,000 paper. So by reading a lot of paper and also try to construct your own paper from time to time. So I think this is important. And reading a lot of paper doesn't mean that you are good. So reading the right paper is important. So I think this is also important. So you should read a lot of paper that is very high quality. From the viewpoint, you can know what, finally you know that, this kind of focus, how people express their need to the journal. So by doing this, I think basically you should be confident to submit to any journal site, because this is a great knowledge. I think you should learn by reading a lot of paper first, and then you do your research properly. Then through those research work that you have done, and the way that you compile your data, that is original, there is something like we call that scientific relevant and scientific proof. That will be very high respectable information for being accepted. So I think this is the two keywords usually I use and I teach my students. And first, you have to read a lot of paper first. Then you can know how to write. So it's something like you ask the boy how to walk fast. First, let him fall down first. When he fall many times, so he know how to walk and how to run. So this is my way. Sorry, am I answer your question then?
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. Learning from the best is the best way.
Yeah.
Dr. Dwiguna, Sumitra, perhaps you want to add something?
Okay, please allow me to see in my perspective. I think this is almost similar with the other keynote speaker about the how to produce the good paper. In my experience, the first paper I submit in the journal is rejected. At the time, I'm very upset to the. I'm sorry, Dr. Professor Abdul Kareem, to the editor, because why they not receive my paper?
Because he's the one rejecting you.
Yeah. That make me angry, and I really blame them why they didn't receive my paper.
Okay.
Because to produce this paper, I take the long time to stay in the lab, and many time to do the simulation, to do the model. Why in the end, when I submit to them, they rejected. And for I submit the first time I submit to get the first information, to get the revised. Is it not the revised paper? This they reject it, and I really okay. I give up to to send again, but in this moment, I also learn and I read also. Oh, maybe they see what not I can see. They know what no I don't know. So from the experience, I take to be pattern to write down again and again. So how to publish the good paper? You have you don't never give up. Maybe the first time you reject it, the second time you reject it, the third time you reject it, and the fourth, I think your paper will be very good, and you send another journal, not the same journal. Don't do to deliver about the one paper at the same journal. You can choose another publisher.
Mr. Dr. Irfan, actually, yeah, Dr. Irfan,
Yeah.
actually, I always look at the rejection. Okay,
Yeah.
if I submit a paper and got rejection, I always consider this as a gift for me. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, because especially when the journal actually give you report why your paper is rejected. Unfortunately, some journals actually they don't give you any reason why they
Any
reject.
feedback? Sure.
Yes, and I don't know. Every journal has its own procedure and policy, but I always, as you mentioned, if rejected first time, don't give up. That's very important. I
Yeah,
myself currently I have paper third time actually rejected.
Yeah, yeah, and you also to see is this the publisher is predator or no.
Yeah.
You can see the SCI major, the list of the good quality paper over there.
Yeah.
It's important. Don't send the paper to the predator paper. It is
okay.
This is for my
more learning process, right?
More learning process. Yeah. To produce one quality paper, you need the more process and more time.
More journey.
More journey and be patent.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the second question. It is also addressed to each of the keynote speakers. This is about the virtual laboratory, how to utilize this for learning and conducting process skills assessments according to the experience of the all keynote speaker. I repeat, virtual laboratory, how to utilize this for learning and conducting process skills assessment according to the experience of the all keynote speakers. Well, this time we start from Dr. Sumitra, perhaps?
Thank you for the excellent question. How to do the virtual laboratory? This is also happen in my courses now. I have the practice courses on the laboratory, and for my problem, I just use the simulation. You can find the some of the software to do the simulation or to doing the model. I think if you go to the field, I think it's very difficult because maybe they didn't allow to us to go to travel to some place and take a data from this place. But in my case, I just do my simulation on the lab. So, and even at home also is possible. So you don't need to go to the campus or you need to go to the laboratory. I think and collaborating with the other researcher actually and other teacher.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sumitra. I forgot to mention that the question came from Ade Suryanda of the State University of Jakarta. So continuing to Professor Yuto Lim, the expert in virtual technology, how we can determine this situation according to situation of pandemic, how to establish a virtual laboratory like this?
I'm not very sure what is the question. Question is to utilize this. This means that
virtual laboratory.
Again, what is this
virtual laboratory?
Virtual laboratory.
I see. Okay, virtual laboratory for learning.
Yep.
So it's frankly speaking, this kind of virtual laboratory you cannot do something like like test, right? Examination. It's very impossible to conduct. But basically, for skill assessment, I think the mostly have been done currently is through presentation. But in fact, I'm not sure I'm answering the question. So in order to, how to say, learning and conducting this process of skill assessment, I'm not very sure. But if you're talking about assessment, I'm not sure is it really assessed or not. But yeah, from my viewpoint, is still a problem of ICT at this moment. Now, currently, let's say we're talking about using Zoom for meeting, for having a discussion or conference. So I think we really need something like more than ICT here, like a lot of sensor incur. So I think with this, probably we can move ourselves ahead to the point that this thing can be realized. I mean, the virtual laboratory itself needs some shift or revolution to reach to that viewpoint. So this is my short answer. I'm sorry, I am not answering really. Okay, that's all.
Professor Yuto Lim, how can we utilize the virtual laboratory to the application such as to build a smart home?
Yeah.
Can you share the insight with us?
Okay. So for example, the smart home, how I build is we need a sensor and actuators. So that is the basic need of creating virtual. The way of virtual, how you define it, because in Japan, where there's an authenticated virtual reality, we call it authenticated AR, and there's a virtual that you define as a tool for preparing or simulating or knowing your own viewpoint. That is different. So, or a virtual that you can use it for your own need. So this depends. And upon those different things, you still need the most basic thing called sensor and actuator. So basically, this is the need of this is looking at the information that how the environment, how other information come into, and that can lead to a better decision that what you want to achieve, for example. So in my iHouse, what I did is I use a control system and I set a desired goal. Let's say, for example, energy efficiency and also thermal comfort. Especially now, the thermal comfort more towards the more specific to the individual. So to this individual and the particular space, so it's very difficult problem. So and I can see how the thing is going in the control way. And currently, maybe we will look into more how the AI is going to help us in this particular thing as well. So I think in order to sound like virtual, I think we cannot just really depending on single device. It had to be a multi-model of devices or interface should be incorporated in this particular area. Am I answer your question?
Thank you, Dr. Lim. Energy efficient, such an issue too.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can see from here that Dr. Abdurrahman Obaidi is ready to, Dr. Abdurrahman, I'm sorry, Abdul Kareem Obaidi is ready to add something for us.
Yeah, actually, I agree with Professor Yuto Lim that actually the question is not very clear, to be honest, right? And therefore, actually, it may accept different answers from different point of view of the keynote speakers. But generally speaking, if we talk about the conducting a process skill assessment, right, whether it is actually for virtual laboratory or any other laboratory, I believe that the self-learning is very important. What I mean by this, if, for example, you have a certain situation or case, I think is if we want to utilize the virtual laboratory, okay, we can actually give this case to the students and we ask them actually to solve this problem, okay? Means we first don't provide any guidance, okay? Just let them to think about this, right? And how to solve this problem. And then after this, we can, based on their reaction, how actually they, for example, find solution, or probably they cannot find solution, who knows, right? But based on this, we can actually gauge their skill and what actually skills they gain from this let's say problem or assignment. Yes.
Thank you, doctors. And for the third question came from Mr. Dadan Irawan of Ikopin, Bandung. Is addressed to three of our keynote speakers. The question is, as we know that the current conditions are filled with uncertainty, what is the ideal strategy for implementing the concept of Society 5, while on the other hand, the community is more focused on handling COVID-19? I think this is what we have done right now, using the IT to tackle the problem of COVID-19. But let's discuss this. Start from you, Professor Obaidi, please.
Yes, okay, thank you. Actually, this is a very important question. This time is clear. Okay, so yes, we are facing a very special situation and really a very dangerous situation, which is created due to COVID-19. And the situation, as mentioned in the question, yes, it is really filled with uncertainty. So what we can do in this case, what is the ideal strategy for implementing the concept of Society 5? If you look at the definition of Society 5, actually it aims towards having better society using or utilizing AI and Internet of Things. All right, and I believe the situation will give us motivation actually to move quickly to adopt Society 5, provided actually that we provide actually or have the basis for it. Like, for example, I mentioned about the speed of the internet, about the infrastructure. These things actually, if we prepare well, okay, we can actually move and adopt Society 5. Therefore, actually, my simple answer for this question, that COVID-19 actually is the right reason or motivation for us to start now to utilize all the technologies we have, okay, including, for example, IoT and AI, okay, to know how to actually combat COVID-19 and how to prepare for a future, okay, in case, for example, something happened, because we really learned many lessons from this COVID-19. Yes.
Thank you, Doctor. So this is about the motivation of changing, right? Okay. Dr. Sumitra, perhaps you want to add something, perhaps more technical?
Okay. As I mentioned in my slide, the strategy, the policy to against the pandemic is as far as I'm concerned, the virus still with us, I think, for the long time. This is the fact, because we still conduct some research how to resolve this together. We have to collaborate each other. This is not about the one country can win this virus. We have to unite together to win about this virus, to rise this virus together. So we also have to implement such the EI and also the EOT. Maybe you use for easy thing you can achieve in US. Maybe you use the smartwatch, and maybe you use the tracking like the in your body. They can help you. For me, I installed some software in my smartwatch, and the software will tell me what time I have to wash my hand. Then and will checking me and will remind me to checking my hand often. So this is the simple example. If we want to, I think our government said the peaceful and live together with this virus, because as the question said, is it also the uncertainty? I think as simple as that. And also the follow the obey the government rules. Then in our society, and that will lead the best for against the pandemic. That's my perspective, Dr. Salman.
Thank you, Dr. Sumitra. From Professor Obaidi, we have the motivation to change, but how to change? Japan is among the most successful country to deal with the COVID-19. So perhaps right now we are going to have something insight from Professor Yuto. Please, Professor.
Okay. I think the question is asking about the ideal strategy. I think the answer will be straight to the point is the people.
Great.
There is a cooperation within the people is not enough because of the cross-sectional sharing of knowledge and information is not enough. So like today, we have a conference. So we are sharing different discipline. We're sharing, we have the point to share here, but our next stage is not linked because what to do next. So these are the things that is not very clear. So if we are keep working on something that is always cooperative work together, I think this ideal strategy will be fulfilled. I mean, basically, like we have the ICT, but everyone know how to use the ICT. But if we share how we use this ICT in the proper way, in the whole the whole global way, I think the way they handle the global pandemic is more efficient. As you can see, there's America, Brazil, Russia, they are keep increasing with the number of infections. So what they can learn is just look at how Japan have been done. But the problem here is Japan doesn't share even any information how we did it. Again, it's come again to the right to the point of the people cooperation. It's not enough. So this, I think, is because of our currently problem, economy dominance problem. We call that also selfishness, and we never share. So these are the things that also another issue is a political issue. You can see all around is a political issue. I think this is one of the big issue in human rather than to solving this problem. This problem, if we change our mind, I mean the mindset, we look for collaboration. We look for how to win this race. So everyone going to do the same thing. I think the ICT will definitely can help. So this is my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. I also have a question for you. How can we start a smart home in such a developing countries like Indonesia? Because there will be many technical as well as many cultural issues involved.
Yeah, so basically to build a smart home rather, why not to bring a community to build a smart village? That will be the best, I think. So smart home is more towards to the individual because individual is still a long way to go. But in order to make awareness, I think we should start in the rather than the smart city. We can start with a small, we call that smart kampung. Okay.
Smart kampung.
Maybe, yeah, it could be possible. So because the smart home, you just deal with two problems. There is the energy efficiency and thermal comfort. But smart kampung, you deal with a lot of aspects. So this kind of thing that it should be the start as a great model, especially in the country of Indonesia, I believe. Because Indonesia people, they are live with neighborhood. So I think this neighborhood should be remain as a great culture ever for Southeast Asia to be stay all the time. We don't, like I said, that there's a trade-off between building the most grateful, dependable smart home, or you lose all your neighborhood and all you had to pay more for that, and then also it's caring. So these are the things that I think Japan is going to the, I don't say that it's the wrong direction. So currently, I always say that, hey, don't forget about caring neighborhood. So even though we have this technology, so these are the things that is also take into is a condition in my research as well. Yeah, these are the things that I think is very sad to know that.
Thank you, Dr.
So I'm not sure I'm answering your question. So
it solves everything.
oh, sorry.
I think we are moving to the last question now. This is addressed to Dr. Sumitra. The question is, how to win the competition in this digital journey at pandemic era? How to win? So this is an attitude of winning. This one is from Dr. Supatmi of Unicom. So please, Dr. Sumitra.
Thank you, Dr. Saman, for the question. As I mentioned previous in the last, for win the digital journey, according to our theme, the digital journey to win the competition, at least in the society 5.0, we have to, for factor or for keyword, firstly is we have to adaptability of the technology. We have to capable how to use the technology. We have to aware about the technology for human being. And then the secondly, we have to the agility. We have capable how we can change our culture. We can adopt this society in our life, and we can gain our technology to improve our desired life. And the third, we have to obtain the mobility. Now we can do our job in any place, anywhere. This is not about the burden of the place again. This is not about the time again. You can do anything in some place. And the last, we have to do the activity to against or to win the competition in this pandemic. We can know the right action to solve the right problem. So if you this for the keyword, I think your life will be better now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sumitra. Well, so many questions more, and well, so little time. I'm afraid we have reached our end of the discussion session. It's my duty now to give you a brief conclusion. Well, there is so many impact highlighting the society for now, and to overcome it, we have to change, to adapt. Professor Abdul Kareem Al-Obaidi strongly suggested the words adopt. But how? By optimizing the social distance through serial efforts using artificial intelligence, and integrated them to the cyberspace. And also Professor Yuto Lim added, he gives a possible examples of such as smart homes, smart city, and also smart kampung. This is interesting. Yeah. This is how we move the society forward. So Dr. Sumitra is adding something to respond. Yeah, is the response to the wide variety of social needs during this pandemic era, also using the digital service. So, well, bottom line is we need a rapid change, and also a transformation, because if we don't change, not only we will left behind, but it's also a well, it's gonna be a go looking for trouble discourse. Well, we thank all the keynote speakers for their lovely presentation and also a fruitful information providing to us. And hopefully this will be a guidance. It's a kind of framework because so many question lies, and the answer will be discussed again in our parallel session right after this. So I must remind you that do not forget, we have to still be here after this in the 1300 hours to discuss again, to share again. But for now, we are back to Mr. Tawami.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Martana. It was a lovely discussion, a very extensive discussion we have had. So I believe we are all enriched by the discussion and the question and answer sessions. And I must remind you, all fellow participants, that after this, Dr. Salman Martana has already reminded you. He has helped me very much in reminding you that at the 13-hour this afternoon, we are going to have the parallel session. I believe that the committee has already provided you with all the things required for the Zoom conferences meeting. And please be there because this is part of the agenda of the conference. So we are now reaching the end of our session here. We really hope that we can see you again in INCITEST 2021 next year. And it's hard to say, but this is the end of our plenary session. I am Tatan Tawami and my colleague
Salman Martana
signing off from this conference, and have a good day, and we'll see you again next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.